to my greenhouse. Or potting shed, maybe you'd call it. This is where I do all my potting and plants. So today I thought, as Dan was doing all the mowing, I thought I'd take you on a walk tour. Greenhouse potting shed that Dan and Kai built out of just leftover materials from other projects that we've completed on our block. Things that they had to buy was some clear sheeting because we didn't have any of that, but all the wood and metal for the beams and posts were all left over from other projects. So let's have a look in my potting shed. This is where we keep most of the garden tools that we need within the vegetable garden and the orchard. We've also planted some plants in here like tomatoes to try and get a little bit of extra growing time at the end of the season. This one's not looking particularly happy at the moment. I'm going to give this tomato plant some fertilizer today. The tomatoes coming off it are absolutely delicious though. Over here we have some wood chips that we use in a bucket. This is a surround for the compost bin that we used to use in our shed. We are currently using just to keep paper and cardboard from the house. We hold that in there to go in the compost bins. A nice sink there for me to rinse off things, although it does not have a tap yet. That is yet to be plumbed in, but it is coming. And just some buckets for weeding, and in this bucket here we keep some dynamic lifter. So we grow our strawberries in here as well. That's just to make sure that we get the strawberries and that the birds don't get them before us. We've got some right here that are going to be ready to be picked today. They're looking good. I also try and propagate from our trees and hedging that we currently have in the block. So I've never done jacaranda trees before, but I took some branches off just to give it a trim at the start of the season and thought, hey, let's give it a go. And they have sprouted. Don't know whether that's going to last or not, but I'm keeping them in the potting shed for the moment just to protect them. Some conifer trees as well that we've had on the property that I've given a bit of a haircut, and instead of just putting it in the compost bin, decided to try and see if I could propagate anything. Some rosemary, and that's coming off quite well. The rosemary behind it's not doing so well. And a plum tree. Again, that was actually a branch that one of the cockies had ripped off, and Kai found it on the ground and asked if we could pop it in a pot and see what happens. So that's a bit of a Kai project. And over here, again, this is from Virginia. That's not doing so well. These ones that I've taken earlier in the year are doing okay, but for some reason the latest cuttings that I've taken aren't doing so well. So maybe taking the cuttings in the middle of summer is not a great idea. The other cuttings that I've taken were actually taken at the start of summer, or it might have even been spring actually. Coming around here we've got some spring onions, some lemongrass and some oregano, and some supplies. So this is where we keep our fertilizers, buckets, weeding tools, potting mixes and extra pots when we are doing some potting. In the next 2 weeks we'll be potting some seeds in some pots in the potting shed here to get a head start on our autumn winter growing season. So I'll give you an update when we do that, and then give you updates as we go along with our growing. this year we've tried to grow tomatoes, zucchinis, cucumbers, pumpkins, corn, and spring onions, and lettuce. Very unsuccessful with the lettuce, it keeps on going to seed. The tomatoes have gone fairly well, but of late they are splitting, so we have to have a look at what is causing that. So I need to do a little bit of research. Our corn, I actually don't know how to grow corn. I'm a bit of a novice, so they're not ready yet, I don't think. So if you've got any gardening tips for me to help me out in my garden and grow some better food for my family, leave a comment below and I'd love to hear from you. I think I'm going to call it a day. So thanks for watching and we'll see you again next time.